The bus stop camera recorded the passengers getting on, but it never recorded anyone getting off. The night bus route ran only twice after midnight in a mid-sized city in Ohio. Most people avoided it. The buses were old, the routes long, and the stops poorly lit. Still, for night shift workers, it was sometimes the only way home. On a cold Tuesday night in late November, the last bus pulled into an empty terminal at 12:47 a.m., running exactly on schedule. The driver's name was Daniel Harper. He had driven this route for 8 years and knew every turn, every stop, and every stretch of road where the streetlights went out for no reason. He was not easily scared. He had dealt with drunk passengers, aggressive riders, and breakdowns in bad neighborhoods. But this night felt wrong from the moment he started the engine. The terminal was quiet, too quiet. No announcements played over the speakers, no security guards were visible. The air felt heavy, like a storm was coming, even though the forecast was clear. Daniel checked the bus cameras out of habit. Everything looked normal. At the first stop, a man boarded without saying a word. He was tall, thin, and dressed for colder weather than necessary, wearing a heavy coat zipped all the way up to his chin. He did not tap a card or pay cash. He simply walked past Daniel and sat near the back. Daniel almost called out to him, but decided against it. Late-night rules were flexible. At the second stop, a woman boarded. She looked exhausted, like someone coming off a long shift at a hospital or warehouse. She paid, nodded once, and sat near the middle of the bus. She avoided eye contact with the man in the back. By the third stop, 3 more passengers boarded. None of them spoke. None of them used their phones. All of them sat apart, facing forward, completely still. Daniel noticed something else. The bus felt colder inside than it should have. As the bus pulled away, Daniel checked the rearview mirror. The passengers' reflections looked slightly off, like the lighting didn't quite reach them properly. He told himself it was just his eyes adjusting. 10 minutes into the route, Daniel heard movement behind him. Not footsteps, something else. A soft sound, like fabric brushing against metal. He glanced at the camera monitor. Everyone was still seated. At the next stop, no one got off. At the stop after that, no one got off either. By the 5th stop, Daniel felt uneasy. This was unusual. At least one rider always exited by then. He cleared his throat and spoke into the bus. "Next stop coming up." No response. He checked the mirrors again. The man in the back was now standing in the aisle, holding on to a pole. He was certain he had not seen him get up. The man's head was slightly tilted, as if listening to something Daniel could not hear. "Sir, you need to be seated while the bus is moving," Daniel said. The man did not respond. The bus passed another stop. Still no one got off. Daniel slowed down, considering calling dispatch. He reached for the radio, but all he heard was static. He tried again. Nothing. His phone had no signal. The woman in the middle of the bus suddenly stood up, slowly, too slowly. She walked toward the front, but did not approach Daniel. She stopped just behind the white safety line and spoke in a flat, emotionless voice. "This bus does not stop for the living after midnight." Daniel's stomach tightened. "Ma'am, you need to sit down." She did not move. The man in the back began walking forward, his footsteps silent despite the metal floor. The other passengers stood as well, one by one, moving into the aisle, blocking the exits. Daniel slammed the brakes. The bus skidded slightly but came to a stop in the middle of an empty street. Streetlights flickered overhead. Daniel jumped from his seat and ran for the front door, but it would not open. He tried the emergency release. Nothing. Behind him, the passengers stood motionless. "You were not supposed to notice," the woman said. Daniel turned around. Their faces looked wrong now. Pale, flat, eyes too dark. Their mouths opened slightly, as if breathing was something they had to remember how to do. "What is this?" Daniel demanded, his voice shaking. "This route is not for you. You are early." The bus lights flickered. The camera monitor showed something impossible. The street outside was gone. The bus was moving through darkness, surrounded by nothing. Daniel backed away. "I'm not going anywhere with you." The woman stepped forward. "Everyone goes somewhere." The bus lurched forward on its own. Daniel grabbed the fire extinguisher and smashed the side window. Cold air rushed in. The darkness outside seemed to pull at the opening. He climbed halfway out, gripping the frame. Hands grabbed his legs, strong, cold. He kicked and screamed, fighting with everything he had. The bus swerved violently. Something screamed, not human, not loud, but close. The bus came to a sudden stop. Daniel fell onto pavement. He lay there gasping, the night air burning his lungs. When he looked up, the bus was gone. The street was normal, empty, silent. Police found Daniel an hour later. He was dehydrated, hypothermic, and in shock. He told them everything. They didn't believe him. They checked the bus records. The bus had completed its route, on time, no anomalies, no missing time, no record of passengers boarding after midnight. Security footage from the terminal showed Daniel driving an empty bus out of the station. No one else was ever reported missing that night. Daniel quit driving buses. He moved to another state. He avoided public transportation entirely. Months later, a city report quietly noted something strange. On the same route, after midnight, buses began returning with the same passenger count they started with. Drivers complained of cold air, radio static, and passengers who never exited. One driver never returned. The route was suspended. But in cities across the country, night buses still run. And sometimes, after midnight, a bus completes its route with passengers who were never recorded boarding, and none of them ever get off.